Welcome back to the Just for Clicks podcast. Welcome, everybody. It's Forrest, and this week I've got my wife, Alyssa.
Hi.
Once again, she joins us. We're going to go over the news. We're going to go over positive events. We're going to do things we've been confronted by this week. We got a marquee topic, and we're going to do hot takes and emails. So we got a nice full-bodied podcast for you guys today. So first up, let's talk about Trump. He's got the coronavirus. Does he still have it? Probably. Yeah, I think he's still got it. But he's doing okay. So,
yeah, he survived the coronavirus.
We can all rest easy.
He had a 94% chance of surviving with his age. So, even though he's 74. So, I'm not too shocked that he survived.
Yeah, I'm not shocked either. I hear he's been injecting baby stem cells into his bloodstream. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the Republicans aren't happy about it.
Hush, hush. Keep that a secret.
Yeah. Keep that under wraps. But, I guess let's go on Twitter just real quick, really fast, and see if there's anything that we can get our quick reactions. 12 more minutes is trending in California. Oh, it's about basketball. I don't watch basketball. Man, there's never anything going on Twitter. Wait, hashtag Lucas. Wait, what? Some kind of K-pop thing? Okay, not George Lucas. I don't care. Alright, guys. Let's move into the positive events that have happened this week. Recently, I saw the new South Park episode, and I was really happy with it. I thought it was super funny. I feel like ever since the beginning of this year, I've just been waiting for South Park to make some sort of parody on the virus and on police brutality and all the fucked up shit that's been happening this year. And they came in strong with like a 45-minute episode. So I would totally suggest watching that if you're in the mood for a few yucks. What did you think of it, babe?
I really enjoyed it. Like you said, I have been anticipating their commentary on what's been going on. I thought it was really funny.
I meant to rewatch it right before we did this podcast, but I remember that it was mostly about Randy and how he had to jerk off into his weed. I love that he runs a farm. Like, that's his job now, is that he runs Integrity Farms. Mm-hmm. And he's just really into weed. It's just super funny. Randy's hilarious. I feel like their takes are always so fresh and original, and like they just don't give a fuck, which I really appreciate. Speaking of not giving a fuck, another positive event that happened this week, more recently, Bill Burr was on SNL, and that was really funny. It's high time that these white women get knocked down a few pegs.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really accurate how he describes how white women kind of put themselves at the front of, like, the oppression, oppression hierarchy or whatever. And what he said was so true. Like, white women need to sit down and, like, take their talking to, like, sit down with, like, next to white men or whatever. And it's hilarious because if you go on Twitter and you look at what everyone's saying about it, like, the people who are saying negative things about it are all white women.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's people calling him a misogynist. People literally have a problem with him calling women bitches, which I think is, like, I don't know. That's just kind of taking it way too far.
That's fine with me. Yeah, like, I thought it was really funny. I just watched the whole episode, and it was really cool seeing Bill Burr on there for the first time because I've never I haven't watched SNL in like years, so it got me to watch SNL. I've been watching Bill Burr for a number of years now, and I think he's really funny, and he's one of the reasons I started this podcast was listening to his podcast and just kind of wanting to express myself through like a audio medium once a week. It just seems like a nice release, a nice kind of way to let off some steam and try to be funny and entertain and interact with you guys. So I really like his like style and just his musings. I think he has some really interesting thoughts on our society and how cancel culture is just ridiculous.
I really like Bill Burr too. When I first heard him, he rubbed me the wrong way like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But then I more recently have been listening to him, like giving him another chance, and I felt like I was probably just too sensitive back then or something, and like now I'm like, oh yeah, like he's really funny and what he's saying is true.
Yeah, and he's not like calling for like the death of white women or anything like that. You know, he's just making jokes and he's making some funny observations that are actually true, and they work. Good material. Yeah, I would definitely recommend watching South Park and Bill Burr SNL bits. If you're in the mood for a laugh. Moving on, I wasn't sure where to put this segment of the podcast. I purchased a Mega Construx set. So a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, someone wrote in and touted the amazing quality of Mega Construx sets. And I was dubious, so I went out to Target and I purchased my very first Mega Construx Halo Warthog set. And I built it. I'm going to go grab it so I can have a visual aid while I talk about it. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I got this set in front of me. It was surprisingly expensive. I kind of expected the Mega Construx sets to be cheaper than Legos, but I was surprised to find that they're pretty much relatively the same price. So that's a big check mark against this whole concept of buying things other than Lego. Maybe they were a little bit cheaper, but it wasn't significant in the way I was expecting. Also, I haven't done my research on this, but is Mega Construx just like Mega Bloks rebranded? Because I didn't see any Mega Bloks at the Target. And I remember Mega Bloks had the copyrights to the Halo game series line. So unless they transferred the rights to this new company, Mega Construx, then I'm thinking that Mega Bloks had such bad branding that they actually just ended up... you know what? I'm going to go ahead and look this up. I'm going to look up Mega Construx and see if my theory is correct. They're trying to keep this information from me, but I'm going to use my super sleuthing skills to discover the truth. Mega Brands, formerly known as Mega Bloks, is a Canadian children's toy company currently owned by Mattel. A line of construction set toys. Its most popular product includes Mega Construx, Mega Puzzles, Board Dudes, and Rose Art. So I was right. They just rebranded Mega Bloks into Mega Construx. It's bait. Alright, guys. It wasn't a bad building experience. The guy who wrote in, I forget his name. I'm going to call him Simon. Simon said that the bricks hold together better than Lego, which is a bold claim. I'll be honest, they do hold together much better than I remember as a kid. When I purchased a Mega Bloks set as a child, I had these vivid memories of the bricks literally popping off of the set after I placed them. They would shoot straight up. Like the tension was placed in the wrong piece of the plastic or something, and it was pinching itself until it just shot across the room. I can't make this shit up, guys. But this Mega Construx, it seems that they've improved their molding process at some point. This thing looks nice. I find myself wishing it was a Lego just because it feels weird, and it has a weird sound when you drop a piece on the ground. Like you expect it to sound like a Lego, but it doesn't. But some things in its favor. It's cool that they have Halo. That's neat. I wish Lego had Halo, but they got it. They got the rights. They had semi-coherent instructions. They kind of had this system that I haven't seen Lego utilize, where they would use color-coded studs, or the studs on the set will be represented in the picture as color-coded to more easily display where to put the bricks. I don't think that was quite necessary, but they did it anyway. At one point, when I was building, it told me to open 2 different numbered bags at the same time, completely defeating the purpose of numbering the bags. And the figures have surprisingly small feet. I don't know why their feet are so tiny. Babe, take a look at this. You got this cool looking Master Chief, but then look at his feet. What do you think about those feet?
They're kind of funky looking. I guess.
Yeah, they're kind of small. But you know what? For $30, I think I paid $30 for this.
Yeah, I feel like I was very surprised when we were at Target and he was like shopping for this, that these were basically the same price as regular Legos.
Yeah, I feel like a Lego set with the Warthog, if it came out, it'd probably... Because it's literally just a Warthog and, like, 2 figures. Or actually, there's 4 figures. There's, like, the human, a Halo guy, Master Chief guy, and 2 aliens. So this set, in a Lego set, would probably be $40 or $50, which is a lot anyway. But $30, I don't know. I was just kind of expecting it to be cheaper, like $20. But I guess $30 is fine. Some other sets I was considering buying were more priced up, and this seemed to be the best value set I could get.
The figures are more realistic looking, but the Lego figures are way cuter.
Right.
And they're way better, I feel like. I
right.
like them more.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't animated anything with these guys yet, but it seems like they would wear out a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But there are a lot more points of articulation, so you could get some interesting movement with them. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll do a Lego set. I'm working on a Lego Mandalorian video right now, and I think I'm going to use some of the aliens I got in this set in that video because there's lots of different aliens that attack the Mandalorian. So I'll throw in some Mega Bloks. I'm not calling it Mega Construx anymore. It's still Mega Bloks. Well, that was fun. Simon, thanks for suggesting that I get this. It was a fun experience, but overall I was duped into buying Mega Bloks. Alright, let's move on to the things that we've been confronted by this week. Maybe you should go first, babe. What have you been confronted by this week?
You guys have heard about Amy Coney Barrett, I'm sure. No matter how you feel about her or whatever, or that whole situation, there's one thing that I feel like is kind of weird that I've seen on Twitter and on Instagram relating her, is that she's a white woman and she has 2 adopted black children. And a lot of people are saying that she's racist because of that, or that it's racist to adopt children of a different race than you. And I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but to me, like, if I'm adopting a baby and I put, like, I only want white babies, like, that just kind of seems like more racist, right?
Definitely.
I don't know.
That's super racist. It's kind of like this new trend to be so woke that you actually end up being racist all over again. And it's fascinating. I actually don't know who Amy Coney Barrett is at all. Like, who is she? Can you explain that?
Oh, well, she's Trump's Supreme Court pick.
Well, that's why. People just are
yeah, people just don't like her. Like,
because she's a supporter of Trump.
Yeah.
So they're going to find any little thing, to shit on her about. It's like, when was the last time you guys adopted any kids and helped them out? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously I can't speak for these children who she adopted, but it's just kind of like, would you rather be an orphan in a third world country, or would you rather have parents in a first world country? Like, no matter what race they are. Like, you know what I mean? The vibe I get is that it'd be weirder for white people to say, like, no, I'm not adopting a black child. or don't give me a black baby. Like, what?
Yeah, that's silly.
That seems racist to me.
Yeah, that's goofy, babe. Anything else you've been confronted by this week on Twitter? Any more woke Twitter activism you want to talk about?
Well, a few weeks ago, I guess, I follow a lot of Am I the Asshole, like, Reddit, Instagrams, and Twitters, where they just, like, post Reddit stuff. Mm-hmm. And I saw this one post a while ago that kind of disturbed me. It was this parent, I'm not sure if it was the dad or the mom, but they were saying that their 15-year-old daughter wanted breast reduction surgery. And this parent was kind of like, saying, no, I don't think I should do that. I think she's not even fully grown, like, developed yet. But my daughter really wants it. Like, am I the asshole for telling her no? And then everyone was like, yeah, you're the asshole, basically.
So all the response, boobs were way too big?
Yeah, like, she just thought her boobs were big.
Were they actually way too big? Were they causing her problems? Or did she just felt uncomfortable with them?
Well, I guess she was, like, in gymnastics, so she kind of felt like her boobs were holding her back from being in gymnastics.
Oh, gotcha.
And, which I can understand. I haven't done gymnastics as a teen or an adult. I did gymnastics when I was, like, a little kid.
Isn't that, like, cheating, though?
Yeah, I don't know. To me,
we're not allowed to take steroids, right?
Yeah.
So, like, are we allowed to modify our bodies so we're better at sports?
Yeah. Exactly.
We're getting into iffy territory.
Yeah, and she's only 15, and I mean...
You shouldn't be making those types of decisions when you're that young.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I thought that more people would see it that way and be like, no, you're a good parent, for not letting your daughter just, like, hack up her body at such a young age to do gymnastics. It's kind of just like, well, maybe gymnastics isn't for you. I'm sorry, but that's just something you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to find a new sport. Like, that's how I would feel if I was this girl's parent. But it was really shocking and disturbing to me. Like, most of the comments were saying that they were the asshole and that, like, you should let your daughter get this surgery. As a society, we're so willing to just, like, alter the human body, go under the knife, like, for no real reason.
Yeah, I think surgery has been really romanticized in our media. We see doctors, really competent doctors on screen all the time, played by dashing, handsome actors. Mm-hmm. And we just think that surgery is just a really chill thing, and if you can afford it and you can get it, then there's not going to be any problems. When in fact, a lot of times there's debilitating side effects. Things can go wrong. It's a huge operation and procedure. Like you said, it's devastating to the natural way your body was built and delivered into the world. So if you are going to do that, it better be for a really, really good reason. And not just because, like, you kind of want to do gymnastics. Like, I mean, was she, like, an Olympic level, like, gymnastic person and her tits came in and they were just way too big? Or like, was she just, that was just her, kind of like her hobby?
It didn't sound like she was an Olympic level gymnastics person. It just sounded like it was her hobby.
That's a tough choice, you know, because, like, I don't know what, if my daughter really wanted that, it's just that you'd have to take it as a case-by-case basis, I guess, but use a lot of caution.
The thing is that sometimes they grow back. I know people who have had breast reduction surgery and they still have big boobs 5 years later, like 10 years later. Because you're not even done growing yet. Yeah, you're not done growing.
That's such a good point.
And also, they say it doesn't, but I feel like it's bullshit because the people who I know have had breast reduction surgery, they had a really hard time breastfeeding their children and they just couldn't. You know, the doctors might tell you, oh no, yeah, you'll definitely be able to breastfeed your kids. But when it comes down to it, it's like, you might not.
Do we really trust doctors?
Yeah, they're trying to make a buck. They're trying to put some money in their pocket. It's a business.
Yeah, for real.
So, I was just kind of appalled that so many people were, like, shaming this parent for not letting their 15-year-old...
Plus, that sounds really expensive, too.
Yeah. I guess, like, maybe insurance may pay for it if you say, like, oh, you have back problems. Because when I was a teenager in high school and everything, I was considering getting breast reduction surgery when I turned 18. Like, I didn't like having big boobs when I was in high school. Like, I just felt awkward and, like, kind of embarrassing. Like, I don't know. When you're, like, a teenager, your body is just really embarrassing a lot of the times. But then you grow up and you mature out of feeling embarrassed about things. And so, yeah, I just think it's a bad idea to let someone who's so young make such a big decision.
Yeah, I mean, I would never, assume to tell a parent how to deal with a situation like that. But for me personally, I most likely would not allow that to happen. I would want my kid to wait until they're 18. All right, let's move on to my topic under the things that we've been confronted by this week. It's not that big a deal. It's really minimal and silly, but I just keep seeing these YouTubers with their plaques. Their YouTuber 100,000 sub plaque, and then right next to it is the million sub plaque. I put out a tweet about this, and I got a surprising amount of feedback because I think you should just throw away your first plaque. Like, if you have a million plaque, then you don't need the 100,000 plaque anymore. It's assumed that you have 100,000 if you have a million. So when I got my million plaque, I threw away my 100,000 plaque. I just threw it in the dumpster because I'm not a fucking hoarder. I don't carry around junk with me. And it's just so funny, and I feel like it looks so awkward when people have it in the background of their videos and they're right next to each other and one's like way bigger than the other one and they're awkwardly hung up on the wall. It's just so much better like when it's just one. If I ever get to 10 million, which I probably will, I mean, who are we kidding? That one is like a diamond or whatever, and I'm gonna not keep my gold one. Like, why would I? Just have one thing. If you got like, multiple Oscars in different categories, sure, keep every Oscar, but it's not like that. It's just one supersedes the other. So yeah, I got some feedback on Twitter. I just kind of wanted to respond to this because there's some really sentimental fuckers out here. If we get another 97K, I'll take down my 1,000 subscriber paper certificate my mom gave me. That's from Jackpot Golden Boys. I guess it shows how far you've come, plus the more plaques, the better, in my opinion, from Zach. No, dude, not more plaques, the better. One plaque. Luke Roxwold says, can I have it? No, I threw it in the dumpster years ago. Lego Sam says, I wouldn't throw it away. I wouldn't hang both on the wall, though. I would keep one packed in a box or something. But then you just have a box with a piece of junk in it that you never intend on displaying. That's just junk. You're a hoarder, dude. So yeah, guys, it's really important that you clean up your houses and you minimize the stuff in your home. Random junk is the enemy. Guys, today, this is a call to action. You guys if any of you are hoarders, I want you to go through your living space and find out what is essential and what is not essential. Because if it's not essential, get rid of it. Donate it to Goodwill or throw it in the fucking trash. Because it's unnecessary to keep all this random junk lying around. It's a fire hazard. All right. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. But yeah, I have like lots of friends and stuff who just like don't keep their places tidy, and it's just because they are too sentimental and they don't want to throw shit away. Throw shit away. It's really fun. It relieves a lot of stress.
That's one thing I really like about Forrest is that he like manages and polices our like shit and stuff. And you know, like
I'm glad you like that about me because I feel like an annoying asshole a lot of times.
Because I'm the hoarding type, you know, so I definitely need someone who's not like that to balance me out and to help me. Because yeah, if it were up to me, I would just like keep everything also just because I'm sentimental, and then I would just have like shit everywhere.
Yeah.
So I really like that about Forrest.
Honestly, it bothers me how much stuff I have. I have to have a lot of stuff for my filmmaking, and I try to keep it all mostly confined into the studio. But I have a lot of like equipment and wires and obviously Lego. And it's suffocating sometimes. I feel like I feel like a weight. I feel like fat. The more stuff I have, I feel like it's holding me down. Ideally, I would love to just like live in a van, you know, with just my wife and my kid and like the open road. But that's not that's not a reality. I got to make these Lego videos. All right, let's move on to the marquee topic. When did it become okay to be so sensitive? I've pinpointed the problem with American culture at the moment. And it's everyone is way too sensitive. What is the deal? What is the deal with all this sensitivity? Like, back in the day, like, you could literally just be, like, a tough man. Nothing could faze you. It was lit. You know what? I think it's Pixar. I think Pixar made all these movies about all these cucks, and in the end, they get whatever they want. And it teaches our children growing up, all these 90s babies, that if you whine and complain enough, then people will like you, and they'll give you what you want. Guys, it's so lame to be offended by people making jokes. You really have to try to not get offended by literally everything on Twitter. Accept that some people are different than you and will have different opinions. And you will be a happier person, I promise. I just hate cancel culture.
I guess one thing about that I saw recently on Twitter is this girl band. I'm not sure. I think they're Blackpink, but made this music video. I didn't watch it, but I saw some photos of the girls wearing sexy nurse outfits, and they are literally nurses on Twitter complaining about this and saying,
oh my God,
and complaining about how this band is over-sexualizing nurses. This is not what I wear to work. This is not what we look like. Being a nurse is a really hard job. And it's just kind of like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah, it's like being a nurse is a hard job, but that doesn't mean people can't dress up and have fun and be sexy in a nurse outfit.
Yeah.
Like, one does not supersede the other.
Yeah.
They can both exist at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like these people are like literally Nazis. Like, they want it one way, and no one else is allowed to have fun or contort or play with anything that is somehow now a sacred part of our society. Nurses. They're the real medicine woman. They're the real shaman of our land. You know, they're sacred. Don't fuck with them. I saw this shit on Twitter a couple days ago about Rihanna using some sort of like Muslim chant or something in a song, and a bunch of Muslims were pissed off that she was using this chant because like it's from the Quran or from the word of Allah, and you're not supposed to depict Allah or use Allah's words in like a musical. I don't know, man. It doesn't matter. It's just like, it's Rihanna. Like, just let her do. Like, it just shows like deep insecurity of like your own personal beliefs if you have to attack anyone who. It's not like Rihanna is trying to like hurt the Muslim community. She's just like using their like superhero, you know, their Muslim person, you know, they're who, Allah or what's the Muslim Jesus?
I'm not sure.
What's his name?
I'm not familiar.
Muhammad. Yeah, it's Muhammad. Yeah, he's you know, Muhammad, Jesus, Superman, Batman, you know, it's all the same thing, you know? Like, sure, like, I get mad, you know, when Zack Snyder, you know, basically rapes Batman in front of my eyes. But, you know what? I move on with my life. You know, I might complain about it a little bit on Twitter, but I'm not trying to cancel anyone over it. Well, that's actually not true. Man, I'm contradicting myself a lot. Yeah, I don't think Zack Snyder should be able to be allowed to make any more Batman films, but I don't think he's a bad person. You know, I just don't like his movies. You know, and I just won't watch him and I'll complain about him. But I don't think he should be jailed or anything like that. Man, I feel like I'm just contradicting myself throughout this whole thing. Yeah, it's just a certain type of, like, anger that I'm talking about. It's a certain type of hate that runs deep within these, like, it's mostly religious people, but it's also, like, woke liberals. And people just need to understand that other people are going to have views that they disagree with, and that's okay. They just need to accept that and move on with their lives, because a lot of times these people aren't happy, and I feel for them. I want them to be happy, and I think the first step is to stop being so sensitive and to let things go.
Like, there are real problems going on and, like, real things to be worried and, like, woke about. Like, just trying to find every little thing to be offended or, like, woke about.
Yeah, Bill Burr mentioned this on his stand-up, too, on SNL. He's like, they're literally trying to cancel dead people now, too.
Yeah, like...
Now there's, like, compelled speech in Canada. If you don't use the right pronouns, you can be fined or jailed. It's just, like, totally insane. Like, literal Nazi shit. So just be on the lookout for that, guys. You know, you might think you're part of a progressive, you know, happy movement. And guess what? The Nazis thought that too. They thought they were part of a really lit thing that was going on. And look how it turned out for them. Not too good. All right, let's move on to the hot takes. I have some hot takes from my Instagram accounts. Put out the call. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my DMs. Hot take. DC Comics is using old Forest Fire 101 material as inspiration for their new material. That's from Ethan. I don't think so. I mean, I'm not very familiar with, like, what's going on in the comics right now, but I think a lot of us just have the same ideas because there's only so many different things you can do with these superheroes, and inevitably two people are going to have the same idea. But I appreciate that. That's flattering. What do you think, hon?
Yes, I agree with you. I think DC should have to pay Forrest some type of...
Right, where's my money?
Yeah,
hold on. I'm changing my position on this. Never mind. Yeah, I should be getting at least 10% royalties.
Yeah.
On all DC Comics being sold. I was talking... This is from Guitar Jesus. I was talking to my brother about our favorite Disney movie. Mine was Snow White and his was Atlantis. Atlantis? What is that? Which ones are your favorite and why are they better than the rest?
Well, my favorite Disney movie is Tangled. That's probably just my favorite movie, period.
Tangled's lit. What is this movie, Atlantis?
It's a Disney movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's kind of old.
My favorite Disney movie. I feel like I'd have to think about that for a while.
French fries over tater tots.
That's from Caleb.
That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think tater tots are not as widely available as French fries. So we don't really get to enjoy them as much. So I don't know. When you think about it, at least when I think about it, I prefer tater tots.
Yeah, me too.
But if they're as widely as available as French fries, I might get sick of them and might want to go back to the fries.
That's a good point.
I don't know, guys. You should comment below and let us know what you think. Got a hot take from Zach. He said, "Sup, Forrest. I love your content and the podcast. Now here is my hot take. I have heard a lot of good things about animated shows like Rick and Morty, Star Wars The Clone Wars, and especially right now, Avatar The Last Airbender. And yeah, I think these shows are good, but they're not amazing or special like everyone keeps saying. And it sucks to think this way because I want to feel that what everyone else does when it comes to these shows, but I just don't think they're really amazing or special." That's okay, Zach. You know, you don't have to like everything. The important part is that you're honest about your feelings and can articulate why you feel this way. I think a lot of times people will say they don't like something, but upon further introspection, they will be able to realize why they don't like these things and pinpoint it, and that will lead to a more well-rounded opinion. If you can point out the flaws in these shows, then, you know, you can make better shows in the future yourself. Or just, you know, avoid types of shows that are like that. Yeah, I mean, all the shows are really good to me. I don't like the Clone Wars. I like the original Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the 2D animated one. but I'm not a fan of the 3D animated one. I tried to watch it several times, and I can never get into it. I keep trying to show Alyssa Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I don't think she really is that into it.
Yeah, I've watched the first season a really long time ago, and yeah, I'm just not that into it. It's just kind of dense for me, I think. It seems kind of slow for me. I like Rick and Morty a lot. Rick and Morty is extremely, like, fast-paced and, like, funny.
It's way more accessible.
Yeah, and so Rick and Morty for me, I think is, you know, I would disagree with you on that. Like, I think it is pretty special and amazing or whatever. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. I don't like a lot of things that I almost feel, like, guilty about not liking them.
Like what?
Like, I don't really like Star Wars, like, at all.
You like Kylo and Rey.
Well, yeah, but only Kylo and Rey. You know, I kind of think everything else about Star Wars is, like, boring. So yeah, I totally feel you kind of feeling like, you know...
Out of the loop.
Yeah, out of the loop. Like, you feel like you should be more into something or whatever, but you're just not. So yeah, I wouldn't feel bad about yourself. It just... You know, some things just don't click with certain people.
All right, let's move on to the emails for the week. We got an email from Nick, and he says, sliding into DMs. Hey, Forrest. Obligatory, I've been a fan since 2000, but for real, though, I still remember when you were on Nickelodeon. That shit was hype. Wow, that's a long time. Anyways, I've been single for a bit and was initially hoping to change that this past summer. Well, with COVID and all, it was tough to meet people in real life, and a lot of the social groups I'm a part of were paused. I didn't mind too much. I'm not someone who desperately needs to be with someone. I'm pretty chill on my own, and got a good group of friends to keep me company. Well, now it's fall, I'm 21 and in college, and I'm back in my college town, and there's someone else in town that I've taken a keen interest in. You see, here's the problem. I became aware of this person because I play a sport at a decently high level, and you naturally learn of other people in the area who also play that sport. But for all other intents and purposes, I don't really know this person. I realize this might sound kind of creepy, but I feel like in the age of Instagram and whatnot, it's not super rare for this kind of situation to arise. Anyways, I'd like to hang out with this person, but I don't know how to go about it without it feeling creepy on their end. We don't have any mutuals, and the only thing I can think of to say would be to bring up our shared sport. Would you recommend going for a follow on Instagram and see if I can get a follow back and go from there? Or what exactly would your play be here? I'm not obsessed or anything over this person. I'm not constructing an image of what this person is like in my head, nor do I have any expectations if we do manage to hang out. But, you know, carpe diem or whatever. Got to at least give it a try, right? Thanks, dude. Keep it chill. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I will keep it chill. What do you think, honey?
Definitely follow her on Instagram. I can't believe you haven't done this yet. That's like the very first step, I think. Like, if you're interested in somebody, you should definitely follow them on Instagram. Follow them on, like, social media. Follow her on Instagram and maybe, like her most recent post or something. If it's been recent. If she posted, 2 months ago, maybe not. But if it was, 2 days ago, maybe you should like her post. Yeah, I think that just lets her know that, you know who she is, I guess, or that you're not necessarily interested in her romantically, but that you're just, interested in her as a person, following her. I don't think it's creepy. You said you were afraid of sounding creepy or whatever. I don't think that's creepy at all. Just, liking someone from afar, basically.
Yeah, he just, respects that she's good at the sport that he's good at, and he thinks she's hot, so, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's kind of be tough to slide in without any kind of mutuals or any kind of introduction, but it's been done before. You know, I might even go as far as to comment on a post that she made. Just let her know that you're paying attention.
Yeah, if she follows you back, that's a good sign that she probably thinks you're cute too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe did you say he sees her in person or whatever?
No, he's aware of her. Because she's good at the sport that he's also good at.
Okay.
And they live in the same area.
Okay. For sure, follow her on Instagram. If she follows you back, that's a good sign. You know, if you're feeling really brave or you really think she's, really beautiful, maybe slide into her DMs. What can you lose? You know what I mean?
That's so true.
What's there to lose? Shoot your shot.
Yeah, the thing is, she's probably going to get snatched up by someone else eventually. So you do kind of have to make a move at some point. And you might end up, falling flat on your face, but it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like what Alyssa said, like, what do you have to lose? Yeah, you know, she sounds like she's probably gets a lot of attention from other guys, so she might be used to that type of thing. But, I mean, if you're doing the same sport that she does, and you're decently good at it, and you're also known in the area, she might pay more attention to you. What would I do in this situation? I really don't know. I mean, I've always just got dates from Tinder or on dating apps, and now I'm married, so I don't know. I don't really know how to slide into a girl's DMs, but I mean, yeah, I would probably just like comment on her picture and then just like her photos as she posts them. I'd probably play the long game, but yeah, you probably shouldn't, because yeah, she's probably gonna get a boyfriend at some point. So you should probably make a move. That's my advice. Make some sort of move, and just you don't even know her. That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, that's hard because you don't want to be too...
But she might just go for it.
Yeah, she might go for it. Just see, you know?
That's fucking crazy. What a bold ass.
What will probably end up happening if she does respond to your DM and she's also interested in you is that you'll probably just text or message back and forth for like a couple weeks. And I think, you know, she'll probably feel
that might get her more comfortable.
Yeah, she'll probably feel more comfortable, and then you can ask her to meet you in person somewhere. Ask her to meet you at, like, you know, obviously a public area.
Is it a her?
It sounds like it.
We've been saying her this whole time, but I'm pretty sure I think he just kept calling them a person. There's someone else in town I've taken a keen interest in. So Nick is obviously a man.
So we don't even know if it's a girl.
So it could be a boy.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe they don't gender themselves. Nick, you gotta give us more information next time. We can't give you good advice.
Well, this goes for a boy or a girl,
yeah.
I think. Yeah,
so just slide into those DMs. Fortune favors the bold. And if it doesn't work out, you're on to the next they, them, or their. All right. Let's move on to Jaden Ribiera. He says, a date. Hey, Mr. Rayleigh, it's me, Jaden, my second time on the podcast. I'm just asking you this. I would actually like Alyssa to be here too, but it's fine if she's not. Well, she is. I feel like she can bring advice to the tables because she's a girl. But anyway, I have recently just asked out a girl on a date, and she said yes, which is crazy. She wants to go out with a chump like me. Okay, we're gonna go to the movies and probably see either The New Mutants or something else because my local theater is playing classics like Jurassic Park or Gremlins. We recently saw Tenet together, but just as friends. Is it the best thing no one's ever done? In my opinion, of course not, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. After the movie, we're going to get ice cream and take a walk. But anyway, we've been chatting for 2 months now, and we've been chatting almost every night and saying goodnight to each other. She's really sweet, and we have a lot in common. She likes acting and singing as much as me, and she's way smarter than I am. She's funny and pretty. I really like her, and I don't want to fuck it up. How should I act on the date? Should I make a move at one point, or should I try to be casual about it? I'm really nervous. It's this Friday, and I really want it to go well. Please answer as soon as you can. Okay, we got an intense situation.
Okay, so how should you act on this date? Okay, so you said that you've been out before together. That's a good sign that she likes to spend time with you and that you text all the time and say goodnight to each other.
That's a big move right there.
I definitely think that she's just waiting for you to make the first move.
For sure.
So I definitely think that you should, you know, act normal, you know, act just like friendly, happy to see her and everything. But, you know, you should definitely try to grab her hand or something. Make that first, like, romantic, physical connection.
Yeah, I would definitely give her a hug on the date.
Yeah, give her a hug.
At some point, you know, during the movie, maybe try to, like, hold her hand or something. Maybe after the movie, hold her hand for sure as you're walking around or something. Mm-hmm. And kind of just go with the flow. Just have fun on the date. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I know, like, this seems like a really big deal. Maybe she will work out, maybe she won't, but you can't really put too much pressure on it. You really just have to enjoy yourself and have a good time, and also make sure that she has a good time.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because if she likes you and sees you romantically and is kind of just waiting for you to make the first move, I don't think, for me at least, like, there was nothing really that someone that I was interested in could do that could make me not like them anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I was going out with Forrest for, like, our first few dates and everything, like, I don't think there was really anything that he could do or like anything that was like too awkward that I would be like, oh, like I don't like you anymore. Like, if that makes sense.
What if I like took you home and like I had a bunch of like sports memorabilia everywhere and I just wouldn't stop talking about sports?
Well, yeah, like if it was just obvious that we weren't gonna like have anything in common or whatever. But I'm saying like, like if he like grabbed my hand or like made some romantic gesture towards me, like it wouldn't have put me off, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, totally. It sounds like she's ready to go.
Maybe this is a bit much. I don't know. Maybe like bring her a flower or something.
That's classy.
Like maybe you could bring her a flower on your date.
Hell yeah, dude.
It doesn't need to be like a bouquet of flowers. Like that's a bit much, but just like one flower. I feel like one rose or something would be cute.
Literally.
That'll definitely be like, girl, like I like you. I want you to be my girlfriend. Like, you know what I mean?
All right, we got another email from Matthew. He says, "Is religion a joke?" It is. "Hi, Forrest. My name is Matthew, and I have been a fan of yours for years. I loved your two Jokers videos as a kid, and I still do to this day. I have a question I've been wanting to ask someone, but I don't know who to ask. But first, I have a story I'd like to share. I've had a girlfriend who was religious and was restricted by her religious views. I was really disappointed that she couldn't go to the homecoming dance with me because apparently her religion restricts people in that religion to be with anyone that's not in the religion." Nice, the classic old restrictoroo. "Basically, she could get in major trouble if her friends who were also in the religion or her family knew she was with me. After we broke up, I fell into a rabbit hole finding out that if she did anything that was considered bad to the religion, she could be shunned by her family and her friends. After finding that out, I began thinking, why the fuck are so many people living their lives based on rules from an old-ass book that makes no sense at all? Like, what kind of religion will force a family to abandon their kid because they did literally anything else? My question to you, Forrest, is do you think religion is a joke? To quote the Joker, it's a bad joke. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. When the chips are down on these civilized people, they'll eat each other. I'd really like to hear your and your wife's opinion about this. I feel weird talking about stuff like this with my family because I feel like I could probably annoy them, lol. Thanks for reading my insanely long email that probably made no sense whatsoever. I wish the best for your kick-ass family and stay awesome." Thanks, Matthew. No, it wasn't that long. It's just a few paragraphs. No, yeah, I think I've talked about this before, but yeah, I'm not a fan of religion. I think some people really obviously enjoy being religious and enjoy the traditional values and the kind of safety net that it gives you. I really think what people enjoy the most is not having to make up their own mind or be held accountable to their own views. Mm-hmm. When you can just say like, well, I believe this because of this. You don't have to back it up with anything. All you have to do is back it up with a book. You don't have to say like, I believe this and that's because I believe it. It's more just because this is my religion, so don't question me. It's kind of a get out of jail free card. And I think people enjoy the power aspect that it gives them. So yeah, I do think religion is a joke. I'm not a fan of any type of religion, especially the more crazy ones. I mean, if you want to believe in some ridiculous shit, I'm not about that. But as long as you're not hurting anyone, I wouldn't say that it's a problem. But the thing is, a lot of these religious people, it's not enough for them, and they have to get more and more radicalized, and they start getting violent, and they start hating, and then you're in the Westboro Baptist Church holding up signs saying, God hates fags, and convincing kids to kill themselves, and it just gets worse and worse from there. 9/11 and all that stuff. So you really got to check yourself before you wreck yourself with a religion. Yeah,
I honestly think that most of the time is a cult. Especially it sounds like what this girl that you like is in, she might just get shunned from her family for doing something that's the religion doesn't allow, or being with someone who's not in this religion. And that's definitely cult behavior. It's very unhealthy.
For sure.
I was raised religious. I went to a religious high school. Well, I went to a religious, all school, elementary, middle, and high school. And yeah, I definitely felt like it's very culty. And it took me a while to get unindoctrinated from the religion and to have a more open mind to things. Yeah, I mean, religion is a joke, but it's kind of real. It's like more harmful than a joke. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's like a joke, but it's like it's harming people.
It's not only is it hurting the people that the religious people turn their wrath on, but it's also hurting the people who are religious themselves because it's stunting them in their minds to a certain level. You know, I kind of see religious people as like children, you know, like they kind of still believe in Santa Claus. And they really just need to grow up and just realize the world is bigger than their small-minded views. And there's still a lot of stuff that we don't understand and we probably never will understand in our lifetime. And that's just a fact that we have to accept, and we have to do the best with what we've been given and what we have in front of us today. And I think that's really hard. It's a really hard pill to swallow for people. So it's easy to believe in a book that tells you all the answers, like where did we come from? Why are we here? You know, these are tough questions.
Yeah.
And instead of answering them yourself and creating your own dialogue, you kind of find it easier to fall back on a book that a lot of other people subscribe to. Religion offers a lot of things like community, a sense of support and leadership, a way to connect with other people. So I think we do need to focus on activities that can kind of replace religion in a sense. Like you see these kind of communities sprouting up over like fandoms, you know, like the DC fandom and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, their fans. Everything is technically a religion. I mean, really, it's just about how far you take it and how serious you take it. You know, like I'm huge into comic books and pop culture, and that's kind of where I make a lot of my friends and a lot of what I talk about with people to connect with them. But I'm not taking it as far as to I'm going to go, you know, fight in a war to like defend, you know, my version of Batman or whatever. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, I'm not religious anymore, but I'm definitely still, I guess spiritual is the word, just because I definitely think that there's some type of creator or like something bigger than we can understand.
Definitely. Yeah, there's got to be something bigger than us out there that we just can't even comprehend at this moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's an important thing for humans to grasp, is that we don't understand everything. And, you know, like we might never understand everything.
Right.
And that's okay. And I think that's a big flaw within religion, where it just says like, I know the answers. I know the truth. And it's like, no, like that's very like
childish.
Yeah, childish,
Totally.
Narcissistic kind of.
Yeah, the thing with the religious people too is like you're never going to be able to convince them to get out of their religion. You just have to like hang out with people who aren't religious and hang out with people who respect your views and don't try to convince you to be in their religion. I have plenty of like religious friends and family that I still respect and like, but they're not the extreme types. The extreme types, there's really no helping them. They really have to help themselves first, and then you can allow yourself to be their friend. So it sounds like you dodged a bullet with this girl, and she wasn't the right girl for you anyway. Hopefully one day she'll realize that she's been misled and deceived and will come out of it in her own time.
Yeah.
All right,
for sure.
Let's move on to the last email of the night from Brandon. He says he's got a spooky subject. All right, you ready for this?
Spooky subject.
We're going to get spooky here for the Halloween season. Guys, if you guys have any spooky subjects or ghost stories, please send them in. My email is just4clicks. That's just the number 4 clickspod@gmail.com. All right, so we got this email here from Brandon. Hey, Forrest, big fan of your work. I've always appreciated the positivity and video creation. I've been watching since about the 3rd grade, and I'm 22 now, living in Denver, Colorado. Love the Lego videos and live action and Craig and Zombie Universe, and the one where Joker bleeds out his ass, ha 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 ha, gets me every time. But enough about me, let's talk about spooky. This is in the span of when I was a child to currently now, but recently what only happened about 2 years ago, but the events leading up was pretty frightening. It was where a part of me grew up back at my grandmother's old house based in Inglewood, Colorado. But a little backstory, back when me and my sister were a lot younger, me being 4 and her 7, we were playing down at my grandma's basement with the door closed. Nobody was home at the time, and my grandparents were too old to do anything like this, and they weren't around at that time. Well, where were they? You guys are 4 and 7? What's going on? Everything was going smoothly as I could remember until, really out of nowhere, there was an envelope under the door peeking through, moving like someone was on the other side moving it. Our immediate reaction was terror. I still remember us huddled in the corner next to the keyboard. We were playing music on or whatever, but we were like screaming and crying. Then after looking at it for what seemed like 5 minutes, I finally had this weird courage as a 4-year-old to get up and quickly walk over to the envelope and grab it. Once I did, there was a pause, then a huge bang on the door. This caused me to back up a little. My sister in the corner was still crying, but things seemed to simmer down after that. I can also remember me not wanting to open the door for a minute for some reason, but not to mention other members of my family have always joked about how there's a ghost of an old woman that haunts the basement, especially in that room. Ew. Because not to get too dark, but I had an uncle who lost his mind to schizophrenia, and it really took place all in that room. And my sister continued to have nightmares about that basement, same with my mom too. Dude, are you gonna ever tell us what was in the envelope? What the... And every time where I usually sleep down there, I never failed to look over at that room. The only thing that kept me company down there was this TV, and I never kept that off. Never a sound from the basement or really seeing anything, just constant feeling of having eyes on you. Until this was the event that happened 2 years ago, what I was saying earlier. Years passed and the setup was different in the room, and I'm sitting at the desk with my keyboard and mouse playing TF2. Is it Titanfall? Titanfall 2, and my little cousins have just went into the movies with my uncle like an hour ago. I was the only one there. But that door slammed open right before my eyes when I was playing Titanfall 2, LOL. And I just had the same feeling. Maybe not exactly at that time, but it was the same ghost from back then. Finally opening the door. But I went upstairs and called my uncle because my immediate reaction was it was my cousins. But nobody was there, of course. Now, my grandparents have moved from that house, and the family doesn't have much connection to it like we did. But there's more to tell about this house, including a picture we found of a drawing of a woman that looked like what we all assumed the ghost woman would look like, and what nightmares they were having, LOL. But thanks for reading my story. I hope it was spooky enough. Much appreciation from me, and continue doing Lego Batman, and dare I say, Zombie Universe. Thanks, Forrest. Wow. Well, I guess we never figured out what was in that envelope, huh?
That's crazy.
What the?
I'm so sorry.
Brandon, why didn't you tell us what was in the envelope? So yeah, I think maybe English wasn't his first language or something. There's a few like typos and inconsistencies in this email, but I found it interesting enough to where I wanted to read it. And yeah, Brandon, please, if you could write me back and tell me what was in that fucking envelope, because apparently this ghost was sticking an envelope under the door, and then I guess he picked up the envelope, but then he never told me what was inside. So now I'm just curious.
For real.
That sounds fucked up, though. I'm
so sorry that happened to you. I don't know what I would even do if I was in your situation. I'm so scared of everything. Like, especially paranormal stuff. So,
I know, it's so spooky. It's crazy how many people have had paranormal experiences. Even, like, my own fans. Like, I've already read several. Mm-hmm. Or I guess just 2. There was another one that I read, but it turned out to just be bait. Mm-hmm. But yeah, guys, I want to hear more. If you guys have ghost stories or anything that happened to you that was remotely spooky, email me. It's the month of October, so please email me. I want to get the spooks going strong around here. All right, that'll do it for this podcast this week. Join us again next week, where we'll be talking about SpongeBob SquarePants. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, everyone. Happy Halloween.
Spook it up.